Welcome back, everybody. Today we'll be discussing the Jordan 4 Seafoam Oil once again. Specifically, we'll be discussing whether it should sell or hold the Jordan 4 Seafoam Oil and why that is. To preface this, if you guys enjoy these types of videos regarding the market, reselling, and even info on how to acquire these limited products, be sure to subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you're always 100% updated. Furthermore, for more urgent updates like the recent shock drops we've seen, follow my Twitter, KeithAdam10, and also Personals for You. And of course, for early information before these drops actually occur, Endurance has your back. Now, before we start, just a heads up that you can get a copy of Gargantua AIO 4 completely free by entering the giveaway on Twitter, and a limited restock will take place tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, just in time for the upcoming Snipes drops. For those who don't know, the Jordan 4 Seafoam Oil releases on February 9th. Retail will be $200 on women's sizes. Stock on these is above average for Jordan 4 at 180,000 pairs, which still isn't very high. In order to determine if the Jordan 4 Seafoam Oil will be a fruitful hold, we will cover an estimated range of what the sneaker will settle at after the drop, and also when the shipments come in, essentially all pairs going in circulation, whether they're expected to increase post-drop or even hypothetically continue to decrease, along with how much specifically over specific periods of time, and finally, what type of margin are we looking at for these in terms of holding? Not the retail to resale initial margin, but rather just the hold margin over X period of time. Basically, are these going to be worth your time even if they do end up going up? Kicking it off, let's discuss the estimated range that these should be settling at. To begin with, again, stock for these is just slightly above average. Demand is looking very impressive thus far, which isn't too surprising considering they have a black and white leather primary. This is clearly reflected in the high quantity of high-priced bids and even high sale volume, even with the high price they're selling at. Retail is $200, not $210, which is only going to help the margin. So with that said, I am expecting all sizes to be profitable, with large sizes 10 and above being the best with a good margin, medium sizes having a subpar to decent margin, and the smallest sizes having a poor margin. Of course, bigger being the better. Now, regarding a specific range, prices have already seen the vast majority of their pre-drop decrease since it is the day before, but I am expecting an additional 5% drop after flex reservations go out, considering I am making today's video a little bit earlier than usual. This leaves the current average at about $303 for sizes 8 to 12, but after a potential 5% drop later tonight to tomorrow pre-drop, we might see the pre-drop average at $288 for sizes 8 to 12. We normally see a notable change post-US drop. This is when we normally experience what I like to refer to as the impulsivity effect. You guys should know what I'm referring to by now, as we discuss this very frequently, yet it almost always still occurs to some degree. Regarding the impulsivity effect, if you haven't watched my seller hold videos before, sneaker drops specifically impact human impulsiveness significantly after an individual fails to acquire that desired product due to insufficient supply and too much demand. Therefore, on average, we normally see about a 5 to 10% increase of the pre-drop prices post-drop. When it comes to these, I would actually expect the positive impulsivity effect somewhere between 5 to 10%, assuming they are around $288 or less pre-drop. We'll keep it conservative at just 5% for the purpose of the calculation. I'd say it's more likely that people are undervaluing these, especially because of the rumors of 1 million pairs of these being made, which is not true as far as I know. Not only that, but the green might be causing some people to undervalue them as well. This could potentially bring the average to $302, pretty close to what we're seeing right now. Remember though, this is still temporary. Now, let's discuss what prices will look like once these shipments go out in the 1 to 2 week range. During this period, the vast majority of pairs will be going into circulation. As usual for general releases, I'd expect the typical 10% decrease, nothing unusual here. This would then hypothetically leave prices at about $272, so large sizes should still hover in the upper 200s, and medium sizes close to the mid 200s, so this looks like a pretty promising opportunity if they play out as expected. Now that the average price range at those points in time are evident, let's discuss whether they're expected to increase from the post-shipment prices or even hypothetically decrease. A lot of Jordan 4s with high demand have gone up in the last year, sort of the contrary to what we've been seeing on the average Jordan 1. An interesting example is the military black 4s, which have the same black and white leather primary as these, and I say interesting considering how high they started initially in value, and yet they still managed to continue increasing. And then with lower demand models that started lower, like the infrared Jordan 4s for example, we even saw those gradually increase as well. Hence, I am expecting these to begin increasing after the post-shipment trough, a good change from the other recent seller holds we have covered. But finally, regarding the hold margin on these, essentially, are they going to be worth your time even though they are going to go up in value? While I'm skeptical they will hit the level of the military blacks in the time that those did, it's worth noting that the initial value on these will be lower, which of course helps the ROI. But in general, the post-drop value is still quite high, making it unlikely we'd see an above average ROI in the short term. Hypothetically, if these were to hit $375 in a year or so, that would only be a 25% ROI, which isn't bad, but it isn't great either. If the 2020 Fire Reds are around 400 right now, I wouldn't expect these to surpass that within the same period of time. So long term, it's nothing incredible. Hence, I would rate these just average at 5 out of 10, better than our recent 2 below average pairs that we covered, and this mostly just comes down to the fact that their initial value makes a good ROI quite difficult to achieve, which seems to be a recurring theme with high demand Jordan 4s. Personally, I'll be holding a couple of large sizes, and I definitely want to keep a personal pair too. Also, just a note in general, for anyone considering holding any items who does have low capital, you should never hold anything in general if you don't have sufficient capital to go for as many drops as possible at your full potential without holding back. If you need money to go for all drops, try to sell these as soon as possible. Let me know what you guys are doing with your pairs down in the comments below. Since this is a discussion at the end of the day, I can't predict the future. That's just my personal analysis based on the data that I've acknowledged. We have a lot of brilliant minds watching the video right now, so I implore you to leave your notions down in the comments below. Anyway, that'll conclude it for today. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, or perhaps if you learned a thing or two. And remember that Gargantua will be restocking tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time via the Gargantua_AIO Twitter. And you can also enter the completely free giveaway as well. Subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you stay 100% updated on all hyped releases. Also, feel free to check out the other links in the description below for reliable, fast, residential proxies from Kit Proxies. Furthermore, feel free to follow Endurance's Twitter for updates on restocks and key giveaways. And last but not least, make sure to follow Keith Adam 10 and Personals for You so you guys stay updated on all urgent info like I was mentioning today. With that though, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and of course, good luck on the drop, or if you already copped, congratulations.